Various groups of people who are using codes to communicate secretly about nefarious deeds like doing bad things, assassinating people. People are interested in secrets. They want to find out what they are. And codes, which are a method of communicating secrets, play a significant role in people's lives, whether they know it or not. Perhaps they just whisper instead of talking out loud. And this, it seems to me, is the appeal of codes and of books like Angels and Demons.
In Angels and Demons, there's a great deal to this understanding of symbols and what they've meant throughout history and what they could mean in the future.
But words and symbols aren't the only means by which secrets can be hidden or clues can be given.
The unknown Illuminati master?
Some covert and subversive messages can be hiding right in plain sight.
The Illuminati, they were dedicated to scientific truth, but the Vatican didn't like that. So the church began to, how did you say it? Oh, hunt them down and kill them. Drove them underground into a secret society.
In the late 1700s, members of the Illuminati knew that in order to escape persecution from both the government and the Catholic Church, they must go even further underground. According to some scholars, there is evidence that surviving members found shelter inside a rival organization called the Freemasons. In fact, Illuminati founder Adam Weishaupt already counted himself a Freemason member, having joined just 1 year after forming the Illuminati.
The strategy that the Illuminati adopted was to infiltrate Freemasonry, and the Illuminati reasoned that if they could take Freemasonry over, then they could use Freemasonry as a cover, as a means of recruiting new members.
But if the Illuminati were to survive, why would they choose to join the Freemasons? Was there something about that particular organization that offered the perfect cover?
Weishaupt's successors in the order clearly saw that Freemasonry was a first cousin, some ideal for a new and higher wisdom, hidden for centuries, suppressed not least by the church, which couldn't stand, it was thought, the reasonable, rational, enlightenment way of thought.
Nobody knows for sure where Freemasonry came from. The first references in the historical record come in about the 1640s. But those references make it very clear that Freemasonry as a society or network of societies already existed, had existed for some time before that. We don't know how long before, we don't know how it came into being. There are only theories.
The mythology of Freemasonry claims that the first real Freemason was a master stonemason known as Hiram, and that he was working building the Temple of Solomon. And because of his influence with the king, a group of disloyal brothers came to resent him and murdered him. And hence you have the cult growing up around Hiram.
And the Freemasons took as their symbol the Temple of Solomon, based upon the architect of the early Jewish temple. The other major symbol in Freemasonry are the tools of stonemasonry, specifically a square and a compass, the types of things that you would use to measure a block, to build a perfect building. And these are the symbols of how to live a square life, if you will, a righteous life.
Most historical records concerning the Freemasons indicate the society functioned as a guild during the early Middle Ages. Broken up into individual groups called lodges, it offered a way for skilled stonecutters and masonry workers to exchange and protect secret knowledge concerning their craft. In 1717, 4 lodges based in Great Britain banded together to form the first United Grand Lodge. It was then that the Catholic Church began to take notice.
The Roman Catholic Church spied in Freemasonry a type of organization that it felt was dangerous, because in the eyes of the church, Freemasonry imitated religious forms. It looked like a new religion. They said that all you had to do in order to belong to the lodges was to believe in God and to follow whatever religion happened to be the practice of the place you lived.
At that time, deism was quite a belief amongst intellectuals. The idea of a creator God, a God who's out there somewhere, but who, having created the universe, then stepped back and let it carry on in its own way. And that's the basis of the God figure in Freemasonry. He's never referred to as God, but as the architect of the universe. He's the person who brought everything into being and created the form of the world that we live in.
And you say all that, and then you go ahead and create rituals and passwords and handshakes and elaborate garments. Well, why do that? Some of the churches looked at that and said, this is some kind of new secular religion.
In 1738, Pope Clement XII claimed that Masonic lodges were, in his words, spreading far and wide and growing daily in strength. He condemned the group and prohibited Catholics from engaging in Masonic activities.
Particularly in Catholic countries, Freemasons were spied upon by the government. Portugal, some Freemasons were arrested and tortured by the Inquisition. So the authorities, particularly in Catholic Europe, took a very dim view of the lodges.
But despite church efforts, the Freemasons continued to spread across Europe and the New World, and rumors of Illuminati influence and conspiracy began to take hold.
They did take control of Freemasonry in Bavaria. This very neatly played into the hands of the Illuminati's opponents, because they could start to say Freemasonry and Illuminati are one and the same thing, so therefore the Illuminati still exist.
But the Illuminati were infiltrators. There wasn't a powerful organization on earth they didn't penetrate, including the Vatican, by hiding in plain sight.
As you follow the Illuminati, well, some people think it leads to the Masons. Other people think it died out and was reborn 2 or 3 times. When you start talking about conspiracies from the past, you can just imagine so many diabolical twists and turns that have gone on that have never quite been recorded, reflecting what really does go on behind that veil of secrecy.
This whole mythology about the Freemasons having conspiracies, having secret powers, arose late in the 18th century under the impact of the French Revolution, when the opponents of the revolution argued that it had been the result of a conspiracy formed between the leaders of the Enlightenment and the Freemasons.
A lot of people have seen the hand of Freemasonry behind world events such as the American Revolution, the building of its constitution and so on, the Declaration of Independence. Many of the people involved in that were Freemasons. Because of these ideals of equality, individual liberty, there's a shared interest and a shared idealism behind both. The question that always arises from that is this a band of conspirators who have chosen the cover of a Masonic lodge, or is it a Masonic lodge that has decided to go out and try and take over?
In addition to George Washington, more than a dozen United States presidents have also been Freemasons, including Andrew Jackson, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, and Gerald Ford. Some have even claimed that George Washington, working with Thomas Jefferson, an alleged member of the Illuminati, planned for the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., to be constructed in a symmetrical shape resembling a great Masonic power grid.
Human beings' hidden agendas and the lengths that they're willing to go in response to that agenda or to implement change is historically known. And the idea of being able to use either known or theorized conspiracies from the past as a foundation for modern mystery is really exciting stuff.
But could there be other concealed evidence of Freemason and Illuminati influence? An influence that has been secretly shaping history for centuries?
The path is alive.
And if so, could the plot of Angels and Demons be closer to the truth than we think?